What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be going over the adjustments that Demetrious Johnson made against Adriano Moraes in one championship in both their first fight and their second fight. So in the first fight, we all know Demetrious Johnson lost, but the troubles he had was specifically in closing the distance. And the problems he was dealing with was he was kicking the legs from the outside, and he was throwing the leg kicks to try and cut off Adriano Moraes' movement, because Adriano has really good footwork and a good distance management from the outside. So he was kicking the legs while Adriano was moving and more trying to cut it off, and then trying to cut him off with the hands, taking big steps and switching stances with his overhand to try and cut Adriano off like that. Now, the problem with this in being a shorter fighter going against a longer fighter is that we've seen it with Corey Sandhagen versus Frankie Edgar and other fights like this, to where whenever the person's entering with hands or a boxing combination, they're open for uppercuts, they're open for knees, and they're open for anything coming up the middle. So in the process of Demetrious closing the distance, we saw that he would try and cut him off, and eventually coming later into the second round, he goes in trying to get aggressive and ends up eating a knee. Boom. And then later eats an uppercut, and that's what puts him down, and that's what allows him to get kneed off of the ground, right? In the second fight, however, Demetrious made a very clever adjustment, and instead of just using the kicks to try and cut him off, he actually would use the kicks to then feint and come into range, taking shorter steps instead of the long boxing combination steps and switching stances in order to cut him off. So instead, he was throwing leg kicks to get Adriano to respect and maybe stop moving as much, and then he would throw it to close the distance, and then he could enter with the punches. Now, we saw this multiple times in the fight, but we also saw this in the finishing sequence, to where Demetrious actually ended up Demetrious actually ended up going southpaw, and he threw the inside leg kick, switched, and as Adriano covered up and realized he wasn't throwing, Adriano starts coming out with a jab or even a lead hook, and that's where Demetrious lets it pass, follow through, and then finishes over the top.
Coming in to overcommit. Setting traps, Moraes. DJ's one of his slightly smaller movements. Oh, big right, DJ! He's stunned! Big knee!
And then obviously finishing with the knee. So the key in this third fight is to see what footwork adjustments each of them make, because they're both high-level fighters, they're both the best in the world, and it was interesting to really see how Demetrious adjusted from the first fight to the second fight, considering he couldn't really close the distance. And so now I think both fighters know how they're each gonna try and play this distance game, and I wanna see if Demetrious tries to use the same game plan, or if he's just gonna try and use a mixture of the two to get inside. But guys, thank you guys for watching today. This was me breaking down how Demetrious Johnson changed his game plan in order to close the distance versus Adriano Moraes, and seeing how he might implement his game plan moving forward into the third fight on May 5th. Guys, this card is stacked. One Championship is putting on a crazy stacked event, and y'all don't want to miss this one. Thank you guys for stopping by, and see you guys in the next one.